Alright, so here we have an area that has a lot of light cracking to it, and you can develop these kinds of cracks from two aspects. One is putting on the material too thick, or using too much water and overworking it while you're applying it the first time. So what we're going to do is we're going to evenly wet the surface slowly so that the material hydrates to an even level, and then we're just going to use whatever tool we used originally to smooth out the surface, whether that was a trowel, a plastic trowel, or sometimes even a sponge. So you can either re-wet it with a spray bottle or a sponge. In this case, I'm going to just wet it with a sponge. There's a fair amount of moisture in here, so I'm not really squeezing that all on the surface, but I just want to make sure that I'm wetting it, letting some of that moisture soak in, and then I'm going to re-wet it again so that I have an even dampness of the surface. So now it's taking a little bit longer for the water to soak in, and determining at what point I can work it. It's going to take one more wetting of the surface so that it has an even dampness. And now I can take a tool, in this case I'm going to use a plastic implement to smooth out those cracks and blend those in. So now that I've got an even dampness, I'm going to lightly wet the surface and use my plastic implement to even out those cracks or to close them down. This is much easier to do as part of your final compression. If it's a repair, then you will have to re-wet and rework the surface to get rid of the light haze that you're going to create from closing down the case. So sometimes on a much smoother surface, we've done a spot repair, and you can see that haze develops on that surface. You can use a microfiber cloth, just mist it with some water, and very lightly pull that haze. I'm going to make sure that I carry out to some areas outside. And right here is the main area that we had concentrated on, and all that's got a nice even color to it. We worked it in and matched the others around it. So as you're doing that with the microfiber cloth, it's going to pick up some color and some clay. That's normal. You just want to make sure that your microfiber isn't too wet. So now you can see, compared to the area above it, we've evenly wet this area, compressed it out, got rid of those cracks that are there from overworking or thickness, and hopefully that gives you a hand in doing some minor repairs on the projects.